Back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We got a list of 17 on the Toronto board. We've got 7 on the Oakville Milton, of which one was a repeat I didn't catch. And so we're going to start off. And what I normally do is I click the price link right here. And for some reason, it always puts the $1 million ones first, and then it has the sequence below. So the first one up is 8224 first line. It's at 1.1. It's been listed before. And the thing about this one that I'm not a big fan of is that it's really close to the train track. So first line kind of bends just north of Conservation. And that's exactly where this one is. 58 acres, I suppose, is a very good thing. It looks like there is some upgrades, but I'm not a big fan of where it is. Eighth line is $4 million, and you look at this home, and it's almost the same looking home as the one that we profiled last week on Twist. Now, the difference with this one is that it's 10 acres, basically of prime land, right at eighth line and Steeles, and so you've got a lot of future use there. So about $400,000 an acre. We've seen stuff cross $300,000 an acre in primary development spots, and I definitely think that this one is, and I think that they've it's obviously not for most buyers, I would say, especially at this price tag, because even at $4 million, you figure the number of people that actually just want a house to live in versus development, very small. So it's actually not really in the residential department. In all cases, it's more of a commercial listing, but it showed up on the list, so we'll throw it in. So Frank Place is $311,500. So we're into, first-time buyer territory. This is a sort of a classic first-time buyer's house. It's a great alternative to a condo. Even if you paid $250 for a condo with $250 a month on maintenance fees, I would say this one would probably carry for a very similar price per month. And so they've done some California shutters in here. They've decided to listen to some of the lower sales, which is a good thing because this is a very good price for this home. We've seen them sell for much more, even recently, than this one's listed for. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that one come out at full price or even a little bit more. This one on Slingsby is the identical floor plan, 1051 square feet, 2 bedrooms, and a lot of nice things it has over, for example, like the Viva ones over on Costigan. It's got the driveway plus the garage. It's got, it's got a better layout, actually, I think, in most cases than some of those ones. Hampshire Way is at $347,900, so it has about a $57 a month fee. You're getting a little bit more upgrading inside. You're getting a little bit more size than the previous one, but I would still stay away from those common fees because they don't add anything to your investment, and you can find similar sized properties for around this price. 2 bedroom, 2 washroom. You can find some of the Mattamy homes without those fees. So 383 Main Street, number 112 is $369,000. There tends to be a bit of a negative value adjustment for being on the first floor, even though this one is in what I consider to be a very safe location. 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 2 parking spaces, and being this close to downtown, that definitely has value. Great step for a downsizing couple, and if you look at something like this, it's still more than 1,200 square feet. You've got an exercise room, you've got far less maintenance, and the fees on this one are extremely low, the lowest in Canada, in fact. So $142. Compare a similar size unit right now is for sale over at 100 Millside, $700 a month in fees. So 142, very manageable. 369, this can be a great downsize, and I think that there's definitely going to be an audience for this one with, laminate floors, granite counters, all those things that are just little perks in here that make it easier to make a decision. Hobbs Crescent is $349, and so this one here that's basically your main room there. So you've got to put a TV here, you've got to put a couch there. It's the only layout I've ever seen work. There's your front door, and then you've got your kitchen with the eat-in. You've got some mismatched appliances, which in an ideal circumstance, you'd want to make sure they're all the same. And you could even pick up a stainless steel stove on Craigslist or Kijiji for pretty cheap. And then the bedrooms are good size. You've got a little nook upstairs and the finished basement, $349,000. August 13th, so do you think they probably bought a house? I would say absolutely, for sure. That's not a lot of time, so this is probably not a bad price. You get the bonus finished basement compared to, you can actually find a similar looking home on the first 2 floors, but it's the finished basement that I think pushes that one over. Duncan Lane actually has a very similar layout. It's a long front room here. And so what really upsets me about this listing is that you've got, well, the backyard's decent size, but that has nothing to do with this house. That's not even close to this house, which is fascinating because when you see something like that, it implies that you're backing onto a pond, and in fact you're not. You're facing train tracks, and so that's really upsetting to see because it's pretty close to false advertising. I mean, I could just put a picture in of something that's in Milton. I could put Mill Pond in one of these listings and say, well, you know, it's in Milton. Boo on them. Don't think that's a very good thing to do. Milton Brook Crescent is $449, and I could see, I don't know how this kitchen looks in person, but I would say that it's probably not going to sit very well with the majority of buyers who are looking. And maybe you could dress it up with some stainless steel appliances, but it's almost the same color as the walls, and I've never kind of seen that before, and the floors don't really match up with it very well. It says it's the best deal in town. I don't even know if it's the best deal in this list, to be honest. This one on Holly, $469. If you recognize this home, it was actually for sale previously, and it was up in the fours, and it dropped down a couple times. Ended up selling somewhere, let's just say high threes. And so somebody has walked in, not done a whole lot. That's pretty much the kitchen as it was before. And maybe put in some floors. I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to go back. But I saw this home in person, and these pictures don't look that much different than the previous listing. And at $469, I think they're a little bit off on that one. But let's see what happens. We got a bank sale here on Laurier, and so it's at $509. And so it's on a pretty good sized lot, 113 feet deep. Expect to replace some carpets. It's not that pretty inside. Take all those blinds down. There's going to be work to do. And you have your finished basement too. I don't know anything about the quality of that finished basement. The wall sconces are nice because you can even put better lights in there. Those look like ceiling lights that they just put on the side of the wall. It's all brick. Again, it's going to need some work, but could you get out of this one and have it be worth $550? It's possible. So thing with bank sales, that I'll be quick about this, but the thing about bank sales, they sell it, they wash their hands, they say you take it as is. The other risk when you buy one that a lot of people aren't aware of is that if the people who were in default on their mortgage come back and repay their loan, then you basically are out of luck. And so there's a clause in the schedule that the bank makes you sign saying, this is your house, we're not warranting anything, and if somebody pays us back, then this agreement's null and void. So something to know, they're not always the great deals that people think they are. It's a pain in the butt to deal with the bank. Sometimes you're waiting a week to hear back about anything related to your offer. I know because I've listed them and I've brought buyers for them. So Ramshaw is $539. You've got Wyndham Corner, and one just down the street sold for around this price. Had a finished basement. Had some nice finishes. This one here probably has a little bit more landscaping than that one, but I don't know if the inside's is good, and it doesn't have a finished basement. So I'd be really surprised if these guys manage to sell for this price. Are they probably going to get above $5? Yes. Now they've put some good work into this one. There's a couple things missing. I think for a single car garage, you're pretty much looking at premium lot, finished basement, or more than 2,000 square feet to really give yourself that push into the $5. So Kennedy Circle, speaking of which, $545, they got a finished basement. So it says it's a walkout, but Kennedy's flat. I don't know where the walkout is, if they've done a separate entrance. Basement's rented at $950 per month. I would guess it's probably not a legal basement apartment, although the rules are changing to make it a little bit easier to accommodate second suites, because the province of Ontario said we need more affordable housing. So there's more information if you go to placestogro.ca. You can find more information about second suites and homes. Now, this one doesn't have any pictures. The main floor is probably about 1,600 square feet. It's not worth $545. I can't see anybody paying that. If they did, then it would be, I don't know, maybe because of the basement apartment. So Valley View's at $749. Same model sold down the street, backing onto the ravine for, I'm going to say high sixes. I can't remember the exact number. This one looks better inside. The kitchen's of better quality. it's between 2,000 and 2,500 square feet. This one says 2,500 to 3,000. They might be including the finished basement area. And it looks like there's a walkout basement. And I don't know why they didn't put pictures of the ravine, which I think is a huge feature on this one. Let's see what happens. They're certainly going to be competing against the one down the road that did sell for less. And there's even been stuff that sold at $720 on the street on a pie shape backing onto ravine. Let's see what happens. So Crozier Crescent is $769, and it's about 3,700 square feet plus a finished basement. If you look, they actually took out the supporting beam right here that Madame put in, so I don't know if that's important. But I look at this one, and there's a bunch of stuff on the desk. And if you read the description, it says plus a mostly finished basement. Oh, and by the way, the water dispenser isn't working. And by the way, we didn't manage to clean up the desk. Like, it just seems like it's sort of half effort to put this one out there. And there's carpet on the main floor. Bottom line is they've kind of jumped around on the price a bit. It was a bit lower, it was higher. I don't really know what the game is here. It doesn't seem like it's going anywhere fast though. So Bayless Court is $809, and not sure the size of this one, but it's been listed before. And I think what they did since last time is they put in some of the features: California shutters, floors, and then the in-ground pool as well. It's nice, pie-shaped lot. It really has some privacy behind. There's not a whole lot back here. You can kind of see homes here. The escarpment's off in the distance. And yeah, it looks good. I mean, definitely, once you cross 8, it's a whole different market than $799. So let's see what happens. Usually what we've seen is larger homes for that price tend to sell up around that level, but they've got the finished basement, which might just add to their total square footage. So first line is 825, 11.85 acres, about 12 acres here. And you know, you're not going to get a massively updated home for 825 when you look at that size of land. And it's funny because the front looks good, and then you kind of go, the back doesn't look quite as nice. So she looks pretty from the front, not so much from the back. Workshop in here, probably 800-900 square foot workshop. We got Dills here on the second list. So this is one of the smaller, quote-unquote, detached homes, because some of them are actually linked by the foundation, but functionally they are detached homes. If you look in here, it's very long and narrow, the layout. So you've got hardwood floors here. You've got your back kitchen with an eat-in area. That's basically your main floor. Because it's so narrow, once you accommodate for the garage, you know, we're talking about a home that's 23 feet wide. Garage is 10, couple feet on either side. It only really gives you space for a hallway. It's the same as 36-foot lots with double-car garages. But it looks nice. It's neutral. The finished basement's there. They've done a bit of work in the back with a hot tub. And overall, you know, it looks, I think some of the things that they've done, they're probably going to do okay on this one. I could see them definitely getting close to where they're at. There's not a lot of good detached homes under $450 right now. So this is a townhouse. It's 1,873 square feet. It looks like it's attached. It doesn't look like it's an end unit. You've got 4 outside pictures, 434.9. If it's okay inside, maybe. You know, if it's a little plainer, it's going to be a little tougher to sell. But we've seen homes a couple hundred square feet smaller than that sell. Got this one on Fitzgerald here, 1,824 square feet with a finished basement, dark hardwood floors. The kitchen looks okay. 439. You've got some privacy behind. So that one that said best deal in town, well, to be honest, for the same price or less, this one's a better house. So it's not bad. I could definitely see this one going with that finished basement. We've got 25 side road and 25. So it says Rockwood, but Rockwood's usually a little further north, so I don't really know what was happening when they wrote this listing up. But looks like 7 acres, and $649 is the price, and it doesn't look too bad for $649 for that amount of land. Again, we've talked about this before, but at 20th Side Road, 25th, 30th, there's that concentric circle thing where the prices tend to go down because the further and further away you are from the 401, from the grocery store, all those kind of things, it tends to have an effect on people's enjoyment, hence the value adjustment. So you've got that nice little walkout basement. Looks like there's some pretty good appeal from the outside. It's a nice home. So 825. This one we already reviewed. The one on first line. I put it in twice. I apologize. Now Center Road here is a nice looking listing. 100 by 218. So you're about half an acre. Very nice ceiling effects. You've got a what looks like a very expensive kitchen. That wood definitely doesn't look cheap. Berber carpets. You've got some pretty good windows. So it's all set up well. Here's the thing, though, is that people always miss this. I would say 80% of the time when someone sees a listing from this side, Flamborough, Kilbride, remember that's in Hamilton. So now you're talking about much higher taxes. So $11,000 in taxes is a big, big hit on your carrying costs for this one here. It tends to push the prices down. So some of these ones that you'll see closer to Milton might ask $950 with $7,000 in taxes, or even sometimes less than that, and so they actually carry for about the same price. So as long as you know that coming into it, that you're going to be paying less because the taxes are higher, you're going to be okay. And then the last one is on Bell Street, and so it looks like it backs onto Milton Fairgrounds, and it's funny because there's two pictures of concrete slabs. That looks like a garage addition that they put in. I don't know, it's okay. 459, basically you're about 50 by 114, and you've got fruit, I guess, somewhere on this property. It's almost the same as that one with the pond where it may or may not be on the house. Yeah, 50 by 114, building lot. You could move in and be okay in this one, I suppose. 2 stories. It's going to need some work though either way. So that's pretty much the list for today. If you have any questions, give us a call. We'd be glad to help you. We run tours of homes. You can come meet me at Starbucks, and we're thinking about running a buyer class this Saturday. I haven't actually finalized it, but I think that's the plan, is Saturday at 12:30 we're going to run a buyer class. So if you're interested, all that stuff is just on that side. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.